This is more than just a portrait of my cerebral cortex. It's a mural of my devotion. Took a couple years to develop my instinct. Now I'm hunting every sin, leave the carcass at your doorstep. They give me an inch, bet I'm taking 40 acres for my kingdom and tell them it was a cinch like a corset. Funny part is the same people died on my drive, headed for my lane. Ain't that shit ironic, Mrs. Morrison? They don't know I've been through it. Probably why my influence hit them hard, leave them struggling with the emotions. And if every tear I cried was measured or verified, y'all would be treading water in my azure oceans. So I chop in portion, these tumultuous memorizing the sound bites, so y'all consider digest every morsel. I want every gem I drop to engage them, so I act, y'all consider the submission a proposal.
I've been banging on these doors, I'm about to kick them down. We've been trotting on this long and lonely road. So long, it's time I finally get my victory now. Oh no, they can't deny my strength no more. Oh no, no.
It's like my confessional, the way I release these feelings. I don't trust a lot of folk and they only preach as killers. Maybe I'm a bit elitist, but my ink is peerless. Want my thesis chiseled on the stone reliefs in Venice, my goodness. I'm a real strong contender in this. They tried to count me out, but I'm the sum of all fears, extenders endless. Family members got their freedom through amendments in this industry. Stood out my constitution for penance sentence. What a shock, got a gift, out of gap, and my knack for the glyphs. Got them grit, in the bag, jib relax, no dick, shit of chips, all the cash, spit the hacks, on the wax, get my fix for the grab. Every strand of my DNA branded champion, call it vanity, all of my candidates handsome. Indie man, cause I made all my tragedies anthems. Put the plan in the motion and vanish, phantom.
Been banging on these doors, I'm about to kick them down. Trotting on this long and lonely road. So long, it's time I finally get my victory now. Oh no, they can't deny my strength no more. Oh no.
I never lied, I'm a certified god of this. Try and refute it, verse immaculate regardless. And every audio release, I'm emitting this ear piercing. Send my point of view straight through your cartilage. My boss is cartilage, temple of conic bill. Your faves could never, they don't have the stones to spar with sis. They used the verses by the cat, well I'm a spawn of Black Panthers. Rick through any track, leave every letter scarlet. Ashanti Gold Coast embedded in my scrolls. Broken English and residue of transatlantic cargo ships. Got a dark past, won't ever see the light, cause they dying to crucify me for a modern day Ascarius. Compromise that in the card, they drawing a blank. Cause I'm so cutting edge, naughties impostors of the brain. My vision changed my career, may cost you yours on the blade. Cause I'm the rock last one from out the warrior brain.
I've been banging on these doors, I'm about to kick them down. Trotting on this long and lonely road. Oh yeah, so long it's time I finally get my victory now. Oh no, they can't deny my strength no more, no more. Hey, through the fire, through the rain, east, some retire, we still remain, yeah, we're rising higher. Build we name, yeah, call the choir, make me sing the praises to highly high. The king's so great, Jah give me life, we can keep the fame. And them hyping up, we no hype with them. Every like call it, can't deny with strength.
She tears you down, darling, says you're nothing at all. But I'll pick you up, darling, when you fall. When she lets you fall, you're like a diamond, but she treats you like glass. Yet you beg her to love you, but me you don't ask. If I were your woman, you were my woman. If I were your woman, you were my woman. If I were your woman, you were my woman. Here's what I do. I never, no, stop loving you.
I'm standing at eye level and I'm boxing with the devil. I'm 7 seconds from the belt and I ain't about to settle. Put the metal on me, gold, yes a gold round my neck. And just watch me as I transmutate into the element. You can never get the best, never the best of astronomical. I shut you down and took the crown, but I came out with the Astro Chronicles. Massive, attacking on the weekend followers. Fuck the new black Hollywood and all of its idolaters. We the true and living gods, I said it, try and argue it. I created heaven with my egg and God's particles. I'm 100, really, I'm the certified article. Pardon us, you don't wanna try and mess with marvelous. This is risky business, but you wanna be a gambler. Ha 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 ha, I eat your rhymes like tofu scrambler. My kitchen come equipped with boost off and herbal seasonings. Your insubstantial wordplay ain't got nothing on my reasoning. Start the music, watch the record as it spins like the planets in the heavens of the solar system. I am the earth, not a gimmick. I ain't padded, I'm authentic, amber-scented. You gon' feel it if I ever reach my limit. God damn, she fresh like some newly washed linen. You don't believe it, check the label on my indigo denims. It say 7, that's the God cipher Divino. I civilized the first caveman, Encino. Product of the concrete jungle, but I conquered it. I never rock a crucifix all day, I'm steady honking it. So I rock the original, deep as a subliminal. She so bad she got him thinking that she rather criminal. Pick the silence, you can get the knowledge from my interval. You ain't no different from them other rappers, just a synonym. You want bad about, I have to ask Messiah, he's a friend of him. You won't catch me reading holy scriptures, I be penning. Mother, may I take one more step so I can reach the finish line. Sentence lines are baiting my subconscious like the Philistines. In other words, I dream of raps before I even spit them. Try them on like brand new sneakers just to see if I can fit them. Roll them off the tongue and see how long it took you before you fit them. From the east I navigate between Atlantis and the coast of gold. Try to save your sinners, but these rappers sold the most. He sold the prices, niggas, cars and clothes and money. Don't forget the hoes, smiling for the cameras. Hope the lights will catch the perfect pose. I'm using my mouth to speak the truth from mouth to mouth to babies. I figured out why I came here when I landed in the 80s. Last in line I was anticipating safe arrival, but it took sufficient effort to secure my man's survival. Couldn't speak the first 2 years of life because my lungs were choked up, but now my words will have you fiending cause my flow is doped up. When I finish I'ma settle near the closest star, post up.
If you had the strength to walk out that door, my love would overrule my sins, and I'd call you back for more. If I were your woman, if I were your woman, and you were my man.
Meditating, raising my vibration, good weed getting me. I ask a question, source energy sending me. Murder, Latrell, rap, chillin' free. We waking up the industry, putting these niggas on notice. Genuine dope shit, and you knows it. Stay in your lane, bitch, low as Rocco is the... Ever question what I'm professing? You gon' get a lesson and a blessing from a living legend.
You know better than that.
Act like you don't know the difference between wrong or life don't let you out without getting toward the. You out here thinking shit is sport, but shit about to get real for you. The four scores, your shit is torture, this shit is torture. They should have taught you, but you been taught wrong. Cheat sheet, I bought the salute AI, but just a different court. We holding court, don't get caught here. You gon' take a loss here. I know you feel it in the air. Trust your gut as always, but be prepared to bust your gun if you talk crazy. And maybe it's more crazy to have your whole squad caking with no more cases. That'd be way more wavy. What they gon' say to me? What they gon' say? I say what the fuck I want, nigga, that's my. And this my left, don't get punched or slapped. I act right if it's gat fights and it's spaz life. Gon' get new meanings who about last night. It ain't no rap life scrap. Shit is serious as cancer. Man up, make 'em an answer. Stand up and when duty calls an opportunity. Now I fuck any and everybody. No promiscuity, shine is my time.
Oh shit. Okay. Oh my God. You know what? It used to automatically go on mic, right? If you had it muted, music is playing, then it used to automatically go. So I have to remember to take it off, or I don't know what I did. Hey, Kenny, I didn't put you on the Summer Jam screen. Peace in the LBC. Good morning. I got my mod in the house, melanated. She's talking about let's go, sincere. Oh, there's a tornado warning. Oh my gosh. You know what? The weather's been really crazy across the lands. You know what I'm saying? They say that NASA and, the space programs and all that, they have a weather machine, right? So they're fucking around with the weather and things like that. Now it's been really, really hot in California because, well, apparently some volcanoes are erupting or having their, you know, scenarios in other places, but also some volcanoes in California are going through some changes as well. So it's been like extremely hot because of the volcanoes. That's my understanding, right? And I'm just like, gosh, dang, this is crazy. And it's supposed to cool down in the next couple of days, but I just think everywhere it's been weird science, if you will, just weird scenarios, just a moving around and moving around, moving around. And so everybody's not, well, state in the United States of America, in the United Plantations of America, is experiencing some kind of oddity when it comes to their weather or the weather patterns in their area, in their geographical area. So there's that. So I want to say there's some interesting things happening, or at least things that are outside of the sphere of the fuckery chittering circuit, right? We have the whole Tupac situation where they are right now. So the Tupac trial is going down, right? Hey, my boo, peace in the LBC. They finally having a trial for Tupac, right? 30 years later. It's like, has it been 30 years? It's been a long fucking time. I wonder what he would have been like if he was to date alive, how he would be, like how his political stance would be. Would he still be for, pro, because Tupac was pro-black. He comes from the line of the Black Panthers, you know people who saw beyond the veil of certain things, you know what I mean, that we're trying to see a greater day for our people, black people, which mhm. I wonder how he would be. But anyways, the Keefe D dude is he's been in jail for, I think, maybe I feel like he got picked up in 2023, and they arrested him for, Tupac, or at least they're not saying that he murked Tupac, but they're saying that he conspired, that he put that whole thing together to unalive him, right? So he's been locked up for 3 years. The interesting part about it is that he had a proffer, right? So when he got arrested initially, or not in 2023, but like back in the day, I think when all the stuff initially happened with Tupac, there was a proffer session that went into place. So he basically was queen for the day. So you tell us every fucking thing, we give you immunity, right? Hey, James, peace in the LBC. So that's really that's what it goes. That's how a proffer is. And you guys heard me mention proffers before because I've been talking about the mafia sector, right? And all of them have proffered, have 302s, have done the queen for the day situation, and they have immunity from all the things. But whenever you go into an agreement with the government, I don't think there is like a time limit to it. Now, somebody said there is a time limit, like 10 years, because I remember I was asking this when I was in the mafia sector. I was like, what the fuck? And I probably should have went and investigated it myself, which I fucking didn't, and I probably will. Hey, Vibrant, peace in the LBC. I got another mod in the house. I'm doing pretty good this morning. But the Keefe D dude has a proffer, right? And so he was granted immunity. And now the judge has taken it away, saying that, okay, look, he's been running around here. He's been giving interviews. He's been writing books. He's been doing all the fucking things. And so, no, we need to be able to use, and we should be able to use his testimony, right? Because I don't give a flying fig if he had a proffer. He was granted immunity, all these things. He's talking about it, so it's open, it's out there. And I was thinking, I don't think that's how it works. And I'm wondering, like, really, when it comes down, now I'm not protecting Keefe D, don't get me wrong on this, but I'm looking at it in general, right? These nuances when it comes to black people and white people in this system, right? This not political system, in this judicial system, because I'm watching these white Italians, right, over there, Basically, they have proffered and they are talking about all their murkety murks and all the things in between and still talking high power shit. They have written books and have wine sales and all these fucking stuff. And none of them have been picked up, per se, because they've been out here running their mouth. They're free to speak about it because they've already confessed to it and they have immunity. So I'm wondering if, a whole bunch of people's proffers are going to be rescinded, or is it just in this special case of Keefe D? Because when it comes to the Tupac situation, it's been so long. There is no evidence, right? There is like, I don't think that they even fingerprinted the cars, that they collected any kind of DNA. I don't, during that time it wasn't like this whole cell phone, you know, um situation where everything was caught on cell phone. It's just a lot of stuff. The evidence is not there. Hey, Shakim, peace in the LBC. So everything will be based on the fact that Keefe D went on Vlad. Keefe D co-authored a book, right, regarding the Tupac situation. Keefe D's been out here running his mouth left and right, and now he's rescinding all the things that he said before. He was saying, "Oh, I was sensationalizing some stuff so I can make some money off of the situation. This is not really the truth, and so because the evidence against him is really himself, right? The things that he has said, the things that he has done from beginning. I'm talking about from inception when they first talked to him, because he was talking like, "Hey, I was there. I gave the gun to my nephew because Tupac beat my nephew up." Now, this is the thing. This is why it's important for people to be able to take an ass whooping and to give an ass whooping, right? You should be able to take an ass whooping, get your fucking ass to back up and fight again until you're fucking satisfied. But you don't need to take the life of a person, right? Because when you were talking shit, because you probably were talking shit and peacocking and boistering and all that stuff, when you were fucking talking shit, and if the scales, were turned, like say you would have he would have beat Tupac up, then where will we be today? You just be out there talking shit about how you served Tupac, how you served him up on a fucking platter. You know what I mean? That's what the conversation would fucking be. So let's just, it's the ego of it. Some people cannot take certain things. You know what I mean? Like some people, they can dish it out, but they can't fucking take it. So then we end up with situations such as this, where we have a legend, a person who was a revolutionary, one who to date, if he was successful, I really truly believe that he would be, either running for politics in some type of way, because as one gets older, you want to contribute more, especially if you're for a movement or revolutionizing things in a certain way. Still, spitting them bars, bringing out music that, because music, it's a energy, right? And it can evoke something in you. It can bring joy, it could bring sadness, it could bring, you know the power and the will to get up and fight. It transcends. And just like if you're a great orator, right? If you're out here and you're speaking and you're speaking to the minds and to the spirit and to the emotions of people, you can galvanize them, right? You can lift them up. You can say, "Hey, no," give them a backbone, if you will, because sometimes people need a little help. Some people are not born with a backbone. Some people, you just have to surgically put that shit in there, or really spiritually, right? Spiritually, you have to give them, the courage to move forward and to understand that, fear is just an emotion. And really, sometimes I want to say it's a concept, because it's actually taught, right? I feel like fear is taught, and we teach it to our children at a very young age, to be fearful of walking out in the street because you can get hit, or don't do this because this can happen. You are trying to protect them, but if you look at the dynamic in of itself, they are very fearless. Children are. They don't give a fuck. Children don't give a fuck. Just pay attention to them. I watched the whole entire video of these babies acting a fucking fool just behind food, right? They were watching their parents eat and they were like, "I want that shit." And they start doing all kinds of random stuff. One of the children was in a walker and took off with the Tupperware bowl and was speeding around in the walker running from the mama. He didn't care. He did not care if he was going to get in trouble. He didn't care about what was being said. He didn't even care if he was going to bap himself in that walker or anything like that, right? Because he motherfucker was moving so fast and shit was crazy. I ain't never seen no he turned into a speed racer. I said, "Ah, this shit is crazy." Okay, he's a new age, like the new age generation. They call it the alpha generation, but I think they are fucking beta. Like God did like a tester with them. He's a beta download just to see. And man, this creation is something else. Hey, Leslie, peace in the LBC. I mean, this one is a doozy. Okay, this particular those little ones is something else. So, anyways, but children do not have fear. It is instilled in them. Like what with another one of the babies just straight up snatched. The mama put the spoon to her mouth, and he just straight up snatched that spoon, pow, and looked at her like what? Like I was like, you don't. We teach our children right. Don't snatch nothing out of nobody's hands because that is the instant that you're going to be in a fight unless you're ready for a fight, right? Because it's about boundaries and space and all that stuff. But we teach them. But this is like on a very low end when I'm talking like this and very comical. But it is truth, that fear is taught. Fear is taught. It is a healthy thing to have. But I think it's the way, the energy of it, right? How you bring it about. So some people just, they need to be able to get past the fear of whatever they think is going to happen. This, whether you feel it's like scrutiny or maybe you might, harm yourself or whatever, you need to be able to understand that you'll make it through, especially if you have courage and endurance and it's for a righteous cause, one that you really believe in or whatever. Understand you'll make it through. And but because I feel like fear in itself will cause people to be a little more careless. I feel like in some ways it's the concept of it. It's like it's a yin and a yang, it's a good and a bad. Well, anyways, so they are now picking the jurors for Tupac. And so they need 12 jurors and 4 alternates, right? So altogether, I think it's like 16. Right now, they have picked 7. And they're saying that it's kind of like an uphill battle. They don't really know which way this is going to go because a lot of things, like most of the people who were around during that time have passed away. They're talking about bringing in testimony from Suge Knight and possibly P. Diddy. I'm thinking, the fuck? Like, can you? I don't know if Suge Knight is going to do it. Now, P. Diddy might do anything for a Klondike bar because he's been locked up and they won't let him out right now. He's going to get out eventually, but is he still? I think he's still locked up. Yeah. You know, so that fool might do anything for a Klondike bar. Um, but I find the most interesting thing out of all of this right now is that whole rescinding of the proffer. Because you literally gave immunity to this person. And I am watching other people, right, that are not black or whatever, not being locked up or whatever. None of that stuff. They're not locked up. And they are talking about the goings on in the mob and the things that they have done and who they murkety murked and talking high power shit and writing books and all this stuff and speaking on the things that they've already have told and elaborating just a little bit more for to sensationalize some stuff or at least to have you intrigued. Their proffers are not being taken away and their words are not being used against them. Now, I don't know if this is going to be one of the arguments for Keefe D's fucking attorney, right? Like, I don't know how he's going to argue this. He's probably going to argue that, he wasn't directly connected. He was trying to, make a profit or something. Like he was trying to take care of himself. So he sensationalized some things. they might want to fucking argue that he has immunity, right? And regardless to how you feel, him talking about these things, is there any clause in the immunity contract that states that you cannot speak on X, Y, and Z ever? And if that's the case, is this just geared towards this particular group of people, right? Because you're talking about, you have another group of people and none of them are highly melanated, saying all kinds of fucking shit. So I didn't know what his, his argument is going to be for Keefe D. And I feel like with Keefe D, now Keefe D did give an interview, right? This woman, I don't know her name, but there was an interview, in the jailhouse, and he was, he was basically saying that he feared for his family's safety and some other things, and he really wasn't saying too much. I was like, you're not really talking about anything here, so I don't even know what the point of this interview is, and you don't sound truly invested in your own words, right? It's like you're just all over the place. And then the woman asked him how he was doing, and he was like, to the best I can be doing, right, in this situation, in so many words, right? Hey, P, peace in the LBC. Then he was like, got quiet, and then he was like, how you doing? I'm like, fool, she's here to interview you, and I don't understand this conversation, the dynamic of this conversation. Are you trying to just have small talk with her? You ain't had any company in a while. Like, what is happening here? Like, she is here for a purpose, and it's time for you to say your piece and speak to whatever, like, speak to it. And he just was very, I don't know. It was the oddest thing. It was the oddest thing. I know he's scared because he's, for 30 years he's been out here running his mouth, having his freedom, doing as he will, whether he was, scratching and surviving or actually just living a very good life. He still had his freedom, and there's nothing like having freedom, right? And then also having your life, being able to walk this earth, because everybody else has passed away. And also they're trying to get him for the gang association with the Crips, right? So they're gonna possibly put some enhancements on him, for gang related type of scenarios. So he's looking at whatever time they're trying to give him plus enhancements. And if you know anything about enhancements, like when they add them add-ons and shit, you're gonna be looking at more time. I think that they just want to close the situation up because there's probably been, pressure from the family and society itself, and this is the biggest name out there, still to date, Tupac, like when it comes to Vegas and even California and Tupac, it's like, what the hell, what you gonna do? What are you gonna do? And so the pressure is on to associate it with anybody, like to say a thing. Like, he proffered. So when he proffered, he told all the business. How come they didn't go after the nephew? Like, I'm confused by that. Like, I don't understand, like, why certain things didn't take place, because the whole point of a proffer is to get information regarding situations that you wouldn't have that information before, and then you can act upon it. So, really in truth, the law enforcement, government, whatever, they all dropped the ball when it came to the Tupac situation. They all dropped the ball when it came to Keefe D. Keefe D really isn't doing anything that's abnormal than any of these other people who were queen for a day, I can't say king for a day because these are all men, but queen for a day. Hey, Irby, peace in the LBC. So we will see. And then Tupac's stepbrother, he didn't give an interview, but yeah, it is an interview. They talked to him for a second, but he's not too hopeful. You could tell he's not too hopeful. He's like, well, we'll see. We'll F and see what happens. Yeah. And then Mumai Abdul, he's in there, he's trying to see if he can get out of jail. I put it on my wall. And he's part of the Black Panthers. He was at the time, and he's been doing a lot of time. I think he's been in there for I know over 30 years, like 45 years or whatever, his went blind up in there. They didn't really want to help him. Now, remember, he was accused of killing a police officer when, the Black Panthers were putting it down like that. And Asada, she went over to Cuba, right. She escaped, but Mumai didn't. And he has been saying for the longest that he did not, murk that man. But they just had to have a Negro, or they just had to have somebody to blame it on. But he's a highly intelligent man. I remember he used to do a podcast out of the prison that he was in, and you could find his podcast, and he would talk about all kinds of social injustices, or what is justice. Talk about the history of things, like, and I don't know if he still does his podcast. He's well read, and I don't know if he still does his podcast because he has some health failures, and you know I don't know why he hasn't. Like, whenever it comes down to, like, say you got accused of killing a police officer, they want you to die up in the jail. They don't care if they got the right person. They don't, and then it's always going to be the association. Well, you were hanging around these people, and so, you deserve whatever you get as well. And I don't have any problem with policing, right, as far as police officer or being a public servant. But I do have problems with public servants doing egregious things to the public and then getting away with it. And then the same thought process is not applied to them, And then also I do have a problem with, a group of people policing people just for the sole purpose of keeping some kind of power, right? Or enforcing their will upon other people, So I have problems with that type of stuff. That is where my mindset is, and I don't know if anybody else feels that way. Hey, Big Rig, peace in the LBC. Oh, I want to say Big Rig in the Hood Table gave a very good live the other day. I thought it was a good live. I was participating in in the chat and stuff, and I'm just thinking, are they gonna read the chat, or what's really gonna happen here? But sometimes you get engrossed in the conversation and you don't read the chat. So I don't know. The nephew was already deleted when Keefe D snitched on him, but the nephew was always suspect. Oh, okay, so the nephew was already deleted because I know he's not around. So maybe they didn't get what they really wanted, but there has to be some kind of clause in that proffer. Like, you're signing an agreement, and there's stipulations, and I don't know if the proffer is like a general proffer that everybody signs, but I think it has to be specific to the person based on what they bring. But no matter what, he got immunity. So how are they taking the shit back now? It's really weird. QBD is dumb. He basically almost got away with it. The problem is these ninjas love talking to DJ Vlad. Facts. They stay over there talking to Vlad. It's like, what in the hell? Why don't you just shut up? But I think because he has immunity, or had it, he felt like it was okay. Then he's not the only fucking one. Look at all those mobsters over there. All of them are over there running their mouth talking to DJ Vlad. Like, they're all over there doing that. And they're also saying there's a greater conspiracy outside of the fact that the nephew got his butt whooped. But they're saying there's a hierarchy to the situation, because one would say, hey, Tupac was very famous and known amongst all the people. There would have been protection over him, right? There would have had to be, like, you couldn't just do something to Tupac. You would have to go to your higher up and be like, look, I want to do something to Tupac, and get an okay for it, right? Because there's these, political street politics involved. Street politics are very important, and it could cause an imbalance, especially if you have certain things on the table, right? And so, you just can't come out here willy-nilly getting rid of, people that are beloved and, respected. Even if you don't like the motherfucker, you respect them amongst the masses, right? So there's that. And so they were also talking about how Tupac and Nas were trying to bring everybody together, bring the West Coast and the East Coast together. And there were plans and stuff in the making, right, for that. And so it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. It is going to be interesting to see how this goes. Nephew Ben got smoked, and he was putting on him these suckers, man. Okay, death now, East, right? That's what I'm saying, because I was thinking, like, was the nephew? I couldn't remember if the nephew had passed away, like, right, like before or after. I did that part. I couldn't remember. Agree, it was a good live they did. Yes, they did a very good live. I just don't, like, I'll be typing in a live, but I'm used to that, because there's plenty of lives that I'll type in and people just like don't get what I'm saying or whatever. They don't read it. But I feel like it's chat engagement, right? So whether you read it or not is neither here or there to me. Unless I say, please, could you answer this? Because sometimes I really do want to know a thing, you know what I mean? But I feel like it's all, I feel like it's all like, it's just chat engagement, right? It just adds to the person's life. It's going to allow for them to have, it just helps the situation. Sometimes people just be in there, even like, and I'm learning, or I have learned over time, even when the trolls come in, for the most part, they could be annoying and some other stuff, shit starters and some other things. They are all that stuff, and some of them are archivists, and they're like not bad trolls, right? But some people say that there's no such thing as a bad troll, but they add to the chat engagement too. Fuck it, just let them say whatever. Let them say whatever. Have thicker skin, because the whole purpose of them coming over is to be an annoying ass motherfucker. Now, one thing I do know is that I was over at Sco's yesterday. This is another subject matter. I was at Sco's yesterday, right? And Sco had like 2.6K people in the chat talking about those white boys. And I'm gonna not even call them boys, men, because we keep calling them boys and shit. But those white men who was over there with Nolan Wells, and all of a sudden they don't know anything. Well, they gave another interview with Officer Tatum, and this time they had a lawyer with them. So, hey, be easy, peace in the LBC. What's up with you? Peace in the LBC. So they were over there, right? These trolls. I mean, not these trolls, but I'm gonna say I was over there at Sco's. Did I share Sco out? I don't think I shared Sco out, but I did I did share out Officer Tatum. Now, when I did it, I had this uneasiness, right? I was like, this fucking coon ass Negro right here. I don't want to share this bitch ass nigga out, right? But I wanted everybody to see that this fool had them four white men over there. I'm not gonna call them boys, but as their lawyer says, fine young men. He calls them fine young men, upstanding young men. One, two, three. Was it four of them? Yeah, or was it three of them? Well, have them over there, right? And they were talking to Officer Tatum, and he has another interview with them, and they are out here literally trying to profess their innocence and threaten people at the same time. So if you talk about them in any way, they are going to be coming out here with defamation lawsuits towards all the bloggers or anybody in media, or anybody who speaks against them in any kind of way and says these damaging things about them, and they're getting death threats, and they're being harassed and all kinds of stuff, and so they want to sue the world. I said, what? Now look at this conniving, twisting ass bullshit right here. Maybe you guys didn't murk Nolan, maybe, but you know something. You know something, and your parents know something, and I really believe that there was some payoffs that went down as well. And you guys keep coming out here with insult upon injury, talking about that he was your best friend and how you pick him up and all this other fucking shit. And then you attacking his mama and trying to damn near make her look crazy. Hey, sweet one, peace in the LBC. Then you don't know her last name because you keep calling her Mrs. Wells, and I think her last name is like Mosley or something like that, but it's definitely not Wells. It's just bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you guys are despicable. And I am of the firm belief that people just don't do shit out of fucking nowhere. You literally probably have done that before and got very comfortable with doing it. That's why it comes so easily to you to come out here and to lie, and to come out here and to exaggerate, and to come out here and then like to drive your lie home. You were taught this very well by your parents. You have been cultivated in that art, and you are now a fucking practitioner of it. You are going to be practicing it at all times. And when we're looking at this situation, is it Wansley? Oh, it's Wansley. I said Mosley. Wansley. Thank you. Thank you, Be Easy. Her name ain't Wells. That's what they've been calling her. I mean, you don't even know. You keep on talking about how you're trying to make it seem like look, this speaks to the situation. You keep talking about how, or they keep talking about how, she doesn't know these boys, right? And how could she not know these boys? And they were picking them up and they had their car parked there and stuff like that. Well, my question is this. How come they can come out here and call her by the wrong last name? Wouldn't that imply that they don't fucking know her? How come you don't know that? How come you don't know the proper name to call your so-called best friend mama? It's redonkulous. And they keep talking about how, oh, well, Crump, he's a civil lawyer, he's this and that. They don't have this type of attorney. Well, of course they don't, because there's no charges right now. There will not be a criminal attorney at this moment because there are no fucking charges. Now, I don't think any criminal attorney has came out publicly and said, hey, if there's some charges that come down, when they come down, I'm going to jump on this shit. But they might have reached out to Crump. They might have said to him, hey, look, don't say a fucking thing. But as soon as if you can get these charges, if you can do this, that, another, and this is how you go about it, as soon as they come down, I'm tapping myself in, if you don't mind. Bring it to your clients. Because I personally would jump on this shit. I ain't gonna even lie. Win, lose, or draw, I'll make a name for myself. That's one for certain. Two, I get a trick to try a case that in all ways seems like the odds are against me. And if you're going to have a fight, you might as well have a challenging fight. You see what I'm saying? Not an easy fight or one where you got a multitude of motherfuckers that are cheering you on and shit. No, one where you can really put your motherfucking swords to that ass, okay? You could really fight that fight. And it will test you. It will test your intelligence. It will cause you to go down wells that you have never been down before and understand laws, right? And then to go into archaic laws, if you will, because they're still on the fucking book and they still can be utilized. Now they might say, well, this hasn't been used in so long. I don't give a fuck. You can't dismiss a letter of the law. You can't. You cannot. And so we're gonna deal with it, but I'm gonna hit you with every fucking thing in the fucking book. Bitch, I'm gonna send you down all kinds of fucking wells. Definitely gonna do that. And I'm gonna bring up a couple of things like, where's his throat? Like literally, where is it? Did you dispose of it? Is it in a fucking jar somewhere? When did you remove it? What did it look like? Did you take any pictures? Where's his lungs? I want to know about everybody's financial records. I want to know the judge's financial records, and I also want to get everybody's motherfucking phone records. I want all communications, and I want to see all your financial records. I want to see what money's been moving and where it's been moving to. hmm So I'm certain there's somebody out there getting prepared for the fight. hmm But we got them Officer Tatums out there. We got a whole bunch of kumbayas out here. This Tatum dude, This Tatum dude is so fucking serious. Like, if you look, pay attention. This is what a coon look like. A real bona fide coon. He is a bona fide fucking coon. Watching Officer Tatum, he is not going to, like, when I talk about, remember, like, when I talk about those niggas that come from a long line and lineage, of pointing like, oh, master, he over there. That's Tatum. That's one of them. It's quite a few of them. And you will know them by their works. You will know them by how they fucking move. Okay. And he probably is the leader of the pack of the Kumbayas. Like, just, I can't with him. Despite his parents' surname being Wansley, Nolan carried the last name Wells, which comes from his father's side of the family, specifically his paternal grandfather, Christopher Wells Sr. Oh, okay. But wouldn't you think be easy? Like, if you're hanging around somebody and that's your best friend and you know this family so well, you know the mama so well, why don't you know the mama's last name? Why would you be calling her by his last name? You wouldn't. She would have corrected you the first day you met her. Hey, Kimberly, peace and LBC. Hello, sincere listening up top while working. Hello to everyone in the chat. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm glad you're over here kicking it with me for a while. I got a little time, not too much time. That's gonna, come in here, do this, and then I gotta move around, and then I'll probably be back later on. Most of those so-called friends said they never met his mama. That's what I'm saying. But initially, they were who's the one that's talking, like the one that's talking the most? What is his name? Because I was like, um let's say, what's it, I don't know his name. I know one of their name is Bart, but I think he's disappeared. I can tell who's worse, or who I can't tell who's worse, or Officer Tatum or Clarence Thomas. It's horrible. This shit is just bad. But when I was over at Sco's, I was all up in the chat. Warren, that one, they keep pushing this whole thing, this whole narrative of the best friend situation. The lawyer they got us out here, and apparently this lawyer was a lawyer, or is a lawyer for Trump, right? So I'm like, it's Trump that sent his lawyer over. Like, this is crazy. And I'm just watching this stuff, but I'm all in the chat like, oh my God, like, I'm saying all kinds of fucking things because I don't give a fuck. And I was so proud because there's a sister that hit the link and she was like, what is going to say? I can tell you don't date white men. She was like, the fuck? No, nope, I don't. And then she was basically, and one will say, oh, well, this sounds this way or that way. But one has to get to the point of just not giving a fuck. Because if you live in this black body and if you live in this black skin, you understand how quite a few things where it's about survival. Right? That's one, right? Other things are about how people have treated you. And if you're looking at a history of people, because that means that your mom and dad have talked to you, your grandparents have talked to you, and even possibly your great grandparents, all your uncles, aunts, and different things, people who have lived throughout this world are telling you their life experiences and also telling you certain things to protect you, right? To protect you, especially coming up out of Mississippi. Coming up out of Mississippi, they was hanging them left and right out there. So there are certain things, the protections that are put in order, and you are going to take on the energy of that. It doesn't mean specific, it doesn't mean that people hate a people. No, I don't particularly dislike, or, well, I'm going to say I don't hate white people, but I don't like the concept of whiteness, right? Because it's a construct. And when you created this, you created it for the purpose of division. You created for the purpose of dominance. You created it for the purpose of hatred. You were created and fashioned for these specific things. And then you were taught to uphold it. And then you were made to benefit from it. So I don't like that. And one could say, and it's true, that there's good people everywhere. It is. All over. There are good and bad in all nations of people, you know. But what does it have to do with all the tea in China? Because when things like this fucking happen, then the laws and the construct does what it does. And then you have people who uphold that construct and they do what they do because it is what? Self preservation. And that is the first law of nature. The preserving of their concept, the preserving of their world, the preserving of their construct, the preserving of their life. Self preservation is the first law of nature. And when you look at these things that way, then you would have a better understanding, right? And then you won't have these nonsensical ass conversations about, getting along with everybody and all lives matter and you know what I'm saying, having a post-racial utopia. That shit is, getting along with people, that is a beautiful thing. And I do believe all lives do matter, right? Everybody has a life. I don't go out in the world thinking, hey, I'm going to kill a white person today or anything like that. No, I don't, that doesn't cross my mind, nor would I want to do that. But there are people out there who think that way, I'm certain, but more, oh, let me see. Oh my God. Can y'all hear me? I don't know if y'all can hear me. Let me type it in here. Okay, y'all can hear me. Sorry, I had got two calls. Like one call came in and then another call came in on top of it. That was crazy. It was like at the same time. At the same time. I'm like, what? Let me see something also. Let me do this real quick. Okay, can y'all hear me still? Because I have to send a text message. I'm trying to get us, get it. You sincere? Yeah, they trying to get me. Oh my lord, it was a crazy, crazy. Uh, wait, let me do this. It says, oh no, no, no. Okay, I gotta get that phone call. But anyways, might be a call. No sound. You good now? Okay, okay. What was I saying? I do have a problem with constructs to that matter. And if you are upholding those constructs and you are part of those constructs and you're benefiting from them and you know that they're going to protect you in some type of way and then you utilize them whenever something comes your way, then I have a problem with that, right? And there are good people in all nations of people, but there are people that truthfully don't benefit from the rules, the regulations, the laws, and all the things, you know what I'm saying? And, those people deserve respect. Those people deserve protection. Those people deserve justice, right? And that's what we're looking at when we're talking about these different situations. What does justice look like? What does it look like to be fair? Or what does it look like to be equitable? What does it look like to be, empathetic and sympathetic, and all these things apply because all these things come together in order for you to want to support or to help or to see something through, like you want to see something right. I personally don't want to see the wrong person get anything done to them. I don't believe in having innocent people in situations that, why are you here? You didn't fucking do it. Why are you suffering? What is this, right? But there is like such thing as spiritual justice, right? where maybe you didn't get it for this, but the Most High got your ass for that, and He used this mechanism to get you for it. As the old timers would say, for old and new. Oh, I done took you. Well, I'm gonna get you for old and new with this one and sit your ass down right over here. You know, but that's if you think that way. Some people don't think that way. Like some people don't believe in those type of things. Uh, Karma, if you will, or whatever. But sheesh. What I've noticed when it comes to this particular group of people, or this particular nation of people, they can do the most egregious things. Like they can be, I don't know, like the Jeffrey Dahmers of the world and stuff, and they will literally find a way to protect them in some sorts, right? Even their crazy folks, they will find a way to. They'll say, "Oh man, this is a horrible person," but they'll lock their asses up forever. They really just don't murk them. But if they're hunting down some black folks, they're gonna shoot you on sight. But they really just don't murk their own like that. Now they might lock them up a little bit, but they're not gonna murk them. So, and we saw a prime example of that when they did. Charlie Manson just live his best life and play with these women and talk crazy and be a Looney Tune, but they got rid of Tookie Wilson. I mean, what's Tookie's? I said the wrong name, but Tookie, right? He was over the Crips and stuff. Like they got rid of him. I'm like, what the flying fig is happening here? And he wrote children's books. I think I got one of the children's books. I have a collection of books and different things, right? Some stuff I get just to have it. And I do definitely have one of his writings, like one of his books. But they got rid of him. So I'm just like, this is crazy. And anyways, it was a good time over there at Sco's. It was quite a few people who hit the link and stuff too afterwards, because he finally opened up the link. Tookie Williams. Tookie Williams. I was like, wait till I know I'm saying this name wrong. Um, but what I found interesting is one of the people they pick and choose. Facts, they pick and choose. But anyways, when I was over there, right, two things happened. Now, this is not speaking to like social justice or any of that kind of stuff. This is speaking to something different. Like we're talking about the chittering circuit and the particulars of the chittering circuit, the bullshit that happens here. Why, when I was over there, two people hit the link. One of them sound really like Yagged Lights. I'm like, this nigga dropped the voice box a little bit or something, but that is that fool. That is that fool. And then another person who hit the link was Don Play. I said, Don Play the troll? Don Play. And then you hear this voice that goes along with it. And he gets to talking about how he has these degrees and all this stuff, and he's educated and all these things. I'm like, so you, educated black man, have been running around here trolling and harassing and talking crazy and doing all fucking things, but now you're an upstanding black man and you have all these intellectual things to say towards this situation, the case with Nolan Wells. I'm like, the fuck is happening here? It was really, really weird. That live was a very interesting live, and it was like weird to see certain people come out, trolls too, to want to hit the link and speak to this injustice and stuff. And so I was like, okay, that does make sense. If you're a black person, you more than likely will feel this way. But I just like, it's amazing to see people in their other form of themselves, right? The one that is not the one out here, causing havoc and BS with other people online. Like one that's more like, sensible and speaking to, the justice of the Wells family. So I'm just, but still, personally, I would Harriet Tubman those fools. They would get Harriet Tubman fucking around with me. I don't have time. Like I can't go back and forth with you guys. Like, well, whatever you are, one moment to the next, I need people to be consistent, like constantly that way. Whatever way you are, constantly an enemy or constantly a friend. You know, just stay constant in it. You can't take these trolls serious. I mean, but you know, they get very emotional about the people they want to support or don't want to support and all that stuff. I'm just saying, my boo. It's just, did I say hi to you earlier? I can't remember if I said hi or not. But they are very, very constant about those things. So whenever Sincere gets a call, her sound goes out. Facts. Yep. And vibrating happened to me one time when I was on live. Headache. It is a headache when they call, and that's why I try to use my other phone. But I didn't do it because I didn't really have it charged out well and stuff. And then also, I think maybe I just gravitate to the iPhone when it comes to doing my lives. Like, you know, but I've been more so doing it with my Android, you know. It's like, what else happened? Oh, then I was over in the mob sector and all that kind of, you know, there were like a couple of things happening over there. The battles between Dominic Sakali and Jimmy Easy, and apparently Dominic Sakali and his team fucking struck Jimmy Easy's page, right? Or struck a couple of things which he had previously had gave them permission to kind of post and stuff, right? Little shorts or clips or whatever, and he was over there on a striking. Like, look, this trips me out. These are mob guys or ex-mob guys. Like, they literally have done like the most egregious things, right? And now they're over here playing the YouTube games and stuff. And this fool is actually striking another person. You know what I'm saying? So Jimmy Easy out here like calling him a snitch, all those type of things. He was like, he didn't went over there and snitched on us to the YouTube police. I was like, well, you know, a snitch is a snitch is a snitch is a snitch. A rat is a rat is a rat is a rat. You know what I mean? What can you say to that? Thank you. I appreciate it. Be easy. I really do. Man. I'm knowing the stars. Okay. 2 Jules. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. So I was like dying to see that stuff go down. And so they having like somewhat of a battle over there. Damn, every mobster striking channels that they over there striking channels. They over there having it out with each other back and forth. But I don't think Dom really wants to participate in this back and forth. But I have been dropping down in the chat, right? And I finally had caught up with that Dan Herman dude over at Gunsmokes. And I was typing in the chat like, hey, dude, I want to know when your ass was over there in fucking China, and how old were you? Were you 29? Were you 31? Which one are you? He saw me typing that in the chat. You could tell when somebody sees like something that you said, right? And I know because he had this look on his face, but you don't want to answer that question because your ass was over there in China with your good ripe age looking for a little girl. And you end up marrying that little girl, true enough. But she could the oldest she could possibly be based on what you say, how much older or how much younger she is than you, how much older you are than her, and how much younger she is than you. The oldest she could have been was 18. And you would have been 31. Or you were 29 and she was 16. No matter what, you remind me of those passport bros. You took your ass over there and you said you were on a mission to educate and stuff, but you were looking at little girls. What is a 29-year-old or a 31-year-old? What do they have in common with a 16-year-old or 18-year-old? Do they have anything in common? You're a whole entire grown ass person. So I didn't ask that question a couple of times and never did get answered. So somebody tells me in the chat, they were like, well, why don't you hit the link? And no, Sincere, hit the link. And I'm like, fuck, I ain't hitting the link. I'm getting to know you motherfuckers. Like, I'm just getting to know y'all in truth. And I am coming down participating and you guys are starting to get to know me. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not ready for that right now. I am not. But I know this fool sees these questions I'm asking and he's not answering. So, I'm going to be presenting that wherever he pops up. But I don't think he's going to pop his ass up no more over Jimmy Easy's because he felt the way after that situation, like when they had that whole little interview or whatever, or panel, he felt the way after the fact because people were saying don't have him on there no more. They were telling Jimmy, like, hey, they were in the comment section, Dan Herman is this way and that way, don't let him on no more. You know what I'm saying? All the normal troll movements and actions. And then he wants to take it out on them. Like they can't control it, but all of you guys are very emotional. You know what I'm saying? I'm like this, emotions taking me over. I mean, they're like a whole BG album out here. Like, I'm like, what? And now he's striking pages and things. So I've been waiting for the next episode of As the Mobsters Turn and what's going to happen and see what happens over there. And, but I don't know if it's going to die down because I didn't realize, right? I didn't realize that it's like it's new to me, but these things have been happening for at least over 3 years, as far as different mob people or people that are in the syndicate or whatever, who have proffered and shit, having these YouTube channels. But it's lucrative. It's lucrative to them because there's a fandom, if you will. There are people who are historians and all kinds of stuff that are like, and also fanned out, and they're over there doing the fucking thing, and they're participating, and they get to meet the people that they read about in the, in, I don't know, the publications of them and stuff. And so they're over here taking sides and it's a whole thing. I'm just like, what? Now, for now, this has my interest, right? But maybe my interest will fucking wane and go somewhere else because I sometimes, like, depending on what's happening, I'll be interested in it, just depending on that. Oh, wow. Well, anyways, let me get up out of here, y'all. I'll be back later on. I'm getting like text messages and phone calls and stuff, and I gotta go. But I'll be back later. I'll see y'all, and thank you for coming through. And thank you again, Be Easy, for the jewels. I really appreciate it. Ta-ta for now. Look. See, is this fool going live? Let me get up out of here. Bye, y'all.